If you drive in Massachusetts, you are required to have auto insurance. But here's what most Bay State drivers do not understand. The minimum coverage that the state requires and the coverage that you actually need are not even close to the same thing. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how Massachusetts auto insurance works, including our unique no-fault system, so you understand what you are paying for and where you might be dangerously unprotected. Hi, I'm Carlos Vargas from Vargas & Vargas Insurance, and we help Massachusetts drivers build coverage that actually protects them, not just satisfy the RMV. First thing you need to understand is Massachusetts has a no-fault auto insurance system. We are one of only a dozen states that work this way. So if you moved here from somewhere else, this might be new to you. Here is what no fault means. If you are injured in a car accident, your own insurance policy pays for your medical bills, regardless of who caused the accident. You do not have to wait to figure out who was at fault. You do not have to sue the other driver to get your medical bills covered. Your own policy pays first through something called personal injury protection, or PIP. This speeds up the claims process and gets injured people medical treatment faster. But it also means your own policy needs to have adequate coverage, because that is what you are relying on when you are hurt. Now, you can still sue the other driver in Massachusetts if your injuries are serious enough, specifically if your medical bills exceed $2,000, or if you have permanent disfigurement, loss of hearing or sight, or fracture. But for most accidents, your PIP coverage is what matters. Let me walk you through what Massachusetts actually requires for auto insurance. We have some of the most specific requirements in the country. First, bodily injury liability. This pays for injuries you cause to other people. The state minimum is $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident. That's written as a 20/50. Second, personal injury protection, also known as PIP. This covers your own medical expenses regardless of fault. The minimum is $8,000 with a $2,000 deductible, although you can choose lower deductibles. Third, uninsured motorist coverage. This protects you if you are hit by someone who has no insurance. The minimum matches your bodily injury limits of $25.50. Fourth, property damage liability. This pays for damage you cause to other people's property, their car, a fence, whatever you hit. The state minimum is $5,000. Those four coverages are mandatory in Massachusetts, but here is what is not required: collision coverage for your own vehicle, comprehensive coverage, and underinsured motorist coverage. Those are all optional. So if you are carrying just the state minimum and you hit someone who has a $45,000 SUV, you're paying $40,000 out of pocket because your property damage limit is only $5,000. And if you are in an accident that is your fault and you need a car, you are buying it yourself because you have no collision coverage. The minimums keep you legal, they do not keep you properly protected. Let me give you some real numbers and show you why Massachusetts minimums are so inadequate. $25,000 for bodily injury per person. You know what a trip to the ER costs these days? A broken leg can easily run $25,000, $35,000. The serious injury with surgery and rehab, you are looking at six figures. And if you cause an accident that seriously injures someone, you only have $25,000 of coverage. You are personally liable for everything above that. $5,000 for property damage. The average new car in Massachusetts is about $45,000. A lot of people are driving vehicles worth $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. If you total someone's car, $5,000 may not even cover the tires. You are on the hook for the rest. And here is what really concerns me. If a judgment against you exceeds your insurance coverage, courts in Massachusetts can garnish your wages and pursue your assets for up to 20 years. One bad accident with minimum coverage can follow you for decades. This is why we tell every Massachusetts driver the minimum coverage is a starting point for legal compliance, not the recommendation for protection. So what do we recommend for Massachusetts drivers? Let me give you some practical guidelines. For bodily injury, we recommend $100,000, $300,000 as a minimum. That is $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident. And if you have significant assets, a home, savings, retirement accounts, consider $250,000, $500,000. The premium difference between minimum coverage and adequate coverage is often just $30 to $50 per month. For property damage, at least $100,000. Cars are really expensive. Protect yourself accordingly. For PIP, consider lowering your deductible from $2,000 to a more manageable deductible. Yes, the higher deductible saves you on your premium, but $2,000 out of pocket when you are already dealing with an injury is a lot for most families. And underinsured motorist coverage that matches your bodily injury limits. This protects you when the other driver has insurance, but not enough. It is one of the most important coverages you can have, and many people do not even know it exists. For collision and comprehensive, carry these if your vehicle is worth more than $10,000. It's a requirement to carry collision coverage if you are financing or leasing your vehicle. If your car is paid off and worth very little, you might choose to drop these to save money on your premiums. But understand understand that means you are self-insuring your own vehicle. And seriously consider an umbrella policy. For $200 to $400 a year, you can add $1 million of additional liability protection. In Massachusetts, with our court system and judgment enforcement rules, an umbrella policy is essential if you have anything to protect. So that is the foundation of the Massachusetts auto insurance. We have no fault system, specific required coverages, and minimums that do not come close to actually protecting you. In my next video, I'm going to talk about what Massachusetts auto insurance does not cover, the exclusions and gaps that catch people off guard. I will link that video right here. And if you want us to look at your current coverage and show you exactly where you stand, no cost, no obligation, the contact information and best way to reach our team for review are in the description of this video.